Good afternoon to everyone. I am your Detroit City Council President, Brenda Jones, and it is truly my pleasure to be here with my colleague, my at-large colleague, and my team member, Janee Ayers. Let me just tell you, I am truly a strong advocate for the city of Detroit supporting our small businesses with contracting and with hiring opportunities. I don't need to tell you, so is Council Member Ayers, and that's why we are both here. The purpose of this outreach is to provide you with an overview of contracting needs for Central City of Detroit services. These services will remain essential during and beyond COVID-19. If your business does not fall into one of these categories, perhaps this could be a new opportunity for business investment and development. So joining me, and she needs no introduction, and she can do it for herself, is my colleague at large, Council Member Ayers.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to thank everybody that has joined us from the community that's watching and from the different departments that are represented. As Council President has already stated, this is something that we find to be extremely important. We were doing this before COVID-19 hit, and it is a priority of ours to continue putting people first and making sure that we give you the essential tools that you need to better your business, start your business, be able to start bidding on things that the city has to offer, because that's what we want. We want you to work with us and work with our city. And so again, I just appreciate all of our business owners, small, large, or in between. And I'm just glad everybody could be here. So again, thank you, and thank you, Council President.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to begin. And we have someone here, Member Ayers. I don't know if you would like to introduce us. I know you have been out there working with them at the testing site, and she has some great information for people, small businesses. So I'm gonna let you, no, I'm not gonna let you, you're gonna take it over and introduce our first speaker.
All right, so we have Elisa joining us today. She has been supremely involved and intricate in coming up with the logistics for the testing site that is at the State Fairgrounds. And now she has taken ownership of trying to do the entire small business PPE rollout and testing for small businesses. And so you don't need to hear me talk anymore. We want to hear from Miss Elisa from the Mayor's Office. Elisa, go ahead.
Thank you, Member Ayers. Good afternoon, everyone. Council President, thank you so much for inviting me and having me join this call. Member Ayers, I want to thank you and also give you a shout out for being out here, not only volunteering with us, but giving us moral support and cheering us up on some rough days. So thank you. So I just want to go over really quickly the testing site, just a quick overview. Just a quick fun fact is we've administered over 28,000 tests at the site since we opened on March 26th. I am just so proud of our employees, everyone coming together from DPW, GSD, and other departments, and really making this a success. And with that being said, I'm going to give you 2 phone numbers. So if you want to grab a pen and write this down, a way for you to make an appointment as an individual or as a business, you can call this number. So I'll repeat it twice. It's 313-230-0505. Again, the number is 313-230-0505. If you call as an individual, starting tomorrow, if you are a Detroit resident, you can call, make an appointment without a prescription. The testing is free. If you are a business owner, you call, you request a business code, and then you will receive a call back with that business code for all of your employees to call and make an appointment. and all of those tests are free. We guarantee a wait time of less than 30 minutes once you get here, and the process moves really fast. So if you have any questions, I'll take it after my whole spiel with the distribution site as well. But yeah, so call the number, make an appointment. We'd love to have you out here in these circumstances. And then I wanted to also talk about the small business PPE distribution. I want to give a shout out to DTE, DGC, and CRIO for making this happen. I've been tasked with, coming up with operations for the distribution. It will be at Eastern Market at Shed 3, starting on Tuesday at 3 p.m., next Tuesday at 3 p.m. till 9 p.m., and then Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We will be rolling out the form and everything tomorrow, either tomorrow or the latest Thursday morning. So your business, you can go on, you can fill out the form. You will also be able to schedule your business to come pick up PPE. We encourage everyone to sign up and schedule themselves so we can plan and make the whole process more efficient. And the PPE that we will be offering, thank you to DTE, is surgical masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer. And I can go into more information if people need more, but when we roll out the forms tomorrow, everything's pretty straightforward. So with that being said, if anyone has questions about the testing site at State Fair or the small business distribution at Eastern Market, I'm happy to take any of your questions.
Thank you, Elisa. And I think Council President, what we need to tell folks is that if they do have questions, it's *9, correct? So if you have questions for Elisa, so you can get more information on how your business can receive some of this PPE, or if you want to figure out how your business can get tested or testing for your employees, please press *9 so that we can acknowledge you and take your question.
I think we are Facebook Live as well. And if you have a question and you're on Facebook Live and you'd like to just type your question in, please type your question in. We're gonna just see if anyone has any questions for Alicia, because she has another meeting, and I just wanna thank her for joining us at the last minute. We asked her at the last minute and she said yes, although she has another meeting that she has to go to. Zoom into. So if anyone has any questions just for Alicia is what I would like to see. So if the host can just find out if there are questions for her. I know we have people who have their hands raised, but I don't know if they're just raised specifically to ask her a question. So if the host can find out if the questions are for her, and if so, put them through, please.
So we won't know what their questions are until we call on them. So you do have 5 hands raised.
Okay. All right. Well, we will go to the first hand.
Madam President, that is caller number 066. And what I'm calling off, ladies and gentlemen, are the last 3 digits of your telephone number. So caller number 066, your phone is unmuted.
Okay, I had a question for Lisa as far as the gloves, the mask, and the hand sanitizer. I have a daycare, so I wanted to know, do you have smaller size masks as well for the children, or just only the adult size?
I believe the surgical masks are adult size, but I can definitely follow up with you if you can give me your information.
Okay. I can give you, you need my phone number. It's 313.
Yes,
okay, 3378.
Hold down for a minute. Is that your business number? Because I don't want you to
that's
give
not the business number.
Okay, I don't want you to give your personal number out. If you can call my office and leave your office
Okay.
on my voicemail, we'll make sure she get it.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't want your personal number out to the world.
Okay.
Right.
I just want to
Okay.
make sure we
All
follow
right.
up with
Thank
you,
you.
but
Okay.
I'll make sure I get it from President
All
Jones'
right.
office then. Thank you.
Elisa, do
And
you
Madam,
have
Okay.
contact
Thank you.
information? Elisa, do you have contact information that maybe you can give out now so that folks can also contact you directly?
Thank
Yes,
you,
I
member.
can. I'll give you my work number. It's 313-269-7409. Again, the number is 313-269-7409.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Madam
next-
President, our next caller, last 3 digits of that telephone number is 615, caller 615. You are unmuted.
Hello, this is Andrea Daniels of Chef Greg's son. Make an appointment for testing.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Was your question, how do you make an appointment for a test?
I was asking for the repeat of the number to get
okay.
tested.
It's 313-230-0505.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Madam President, Council Member Ayers, our next caller is caller 782. That's the last 3 digits of your telephone number. Caller 782, you are unmuted.
Hey, peace, everyone. I'm not sure if I missed it or not, but did you have a website where we can follow up on the information about the PPE for businesses?
Yes, we're going to be rolling that out tomorrow or the latest Thursday morning. So we will make sure everyone receives that information once it goes public.
Right. How will we be able to receive the information? Because I just received a flyer for this call.
So we will make sure that all of your council members have the information, your district managers and your business liaisons. So if you follow any of those individuals, you will definitely have that information available to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I think we also have Mr. Jackson on the line, Boysie Jackson, who is also with us that wanted to add some additional information. I'm trying to find him. Do you see Boysie Jackson?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, President. I just wanted to chime in with the good work Elisa, Mailie, and the team are doing. On the question on the size of the masks and gloves, there are smaller size for the kids as well as medium and large and extra large. So most of the kids, as we have been working throughout the city, even people that are smaller within the city have been using the smaller ones. So they do fit quite well for some of the kids. So we do they do have that, and that thought was in mind when they donated it. So
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you
do
very
we have
much. Yes, ma'am, Madam President and Councilmember Ayers. Our next caller, last 3 digits of their telephone number is 033. Caller 033, you are unmuted.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you all?
Well, thank you.
Bless-
Good, good. My name is Justin Williams. I'm the president of Excel Solutions. We are a PPE manufacturer. And I was wondering if there would be any need for additional supply for PPE, face masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer.
Mr. Jackson?
Mr. Jackson.
yeah, through the chair, Good question. Today, we are adequately prepared on surgical masks, KN95 masks, some of the 3M masks. Our biggest gap is on the K95 mask, which is the medical use mask that we probably need more for first responders, for our medical staff and people like that. I would ask you to think about 3 things before you submit, and I'll give you the email address to submit it to. The first is your payment terms. We need to know and understand that. Secondly, we need to understand the certification that your mask includes. If it's FDA certified, if it's CE certified, we want to make sure that the, and not saying that you have, I'm sure you don't, but there's a lot of things going on in terms of masks around the country, and some of these things are just not FDA approved, as you well know. So we want to make sure our people in the city are safe and they got certified masks that they wear. Okay, and then the third thing above all is the delivery availability. We're not in a position to wait 6 months, and nor do we want to pay people in advance for anything. Okay, so we don't enter into agreements like that because we're working with taxpayers' dollars. But if you got any other questions, let me give you my email address. If you could send your information to me, Jackson, Jackson BO at DetroitMI.gov. Okay, and we will. Latonia Stewart Limmitt has a list of available suppliers like yourself, and we look at them on an ongoing basis. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. So these are 3M masks that we do carry, and they're all FDA approved, and we have the availability to ship immediately.
Okay, so send that to me, and you and I'll take it offside and talk about it.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you.
And Madam President and Council Member Ayers, looks like we are solving problems in real time assistance for small business owners. Our next caller, last 3 digits of that telephone number is 570. Caller 570, you are unmuted.
Thank you for taking my call. My question was just answered. As a supplier, I was going to ask the same questions that were just answered. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you calling.
No problem.
Madam President, Council Member Ayers, it looks as though there are no other calls in the queue right now.
Okay, thank you so very much. Did we just hear 570? Is that who we just talked to? Because I see a hand up of 570.
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Okay, thank you. All right, Alicia, we know you have another meeting that you have to go to. So again, thank you so much for being here. And I think we have answered all the questions that everyone had for you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it.
All righty, thank you. I want to now take the opportunity to introduce the assignment to present to others, none other than Arielle Johnson, who is the Deputy Director for the Office of Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity. Ms. Johnson, can you give us an overview of what you do in your job?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Council President, for having me. Councilwoman Ayers, thank you guys. We always appreciate and value the opportunity to partner as a team on all of this work, amazing work that's being done to support Detroiters. So my name is Arielle Johnson. I'm the Deputy Director of the Civil Rights, Inclusion, and Opportunity Department. What I do is I manage kind of the day-to-day operations for the Civil Rights Department and manage the team and supporting our director, Ms. Charity Dean, as she passionately leads this department and advocating for the inclusion of Detroiters in many ways at the City of Detroit. So our mission, let me see if this is my slides, perfect. So our mission in the Civil Rights Department is to provide excellent service to all who live, work, play, or do business in Detroit. We advocate for inclusion and increased opportunities that result in a positive impact in our city. If everyone is included, it's going to benefit us all. If there's a space for us, for everyone. We value excellence and equity and doing so with integrity. So give a quick overview of what we do in the Civil Rights Department. We were formerly known as the Human Rights Department, and we actually came into fruition following race riots in the 40s that happened on Belle Isle. And so this office has been around for a long time. We are the oldest municipal civil rights department in the country, and so I have much pride to have the opportunity to work in this space. So what we do in CRIO, we have our civil rights team that investigate complaints and as regards to any of the protected classes in the city of Detroit. We also run the language access program, and what that means is if you need to access any city resources, if you're working with procurement, if you are working with CRIO to get certified, or you're working with BC to be able to get permits, then you can work, and you need to make sure you have the language translated into a language that works for you or for your team. You can come to the Civil Rights Department to request those services. Furthermore, if you need American Sign Language support in any of that capacity, you can come to CRIO for that support as well. Our incentives team manages ensuring that Detroiters are included on development projects through CBOs and executive orders, to making sure that 51% Detroiters are included on work. And our construction outreach team just takes it a step further to making sure that Detroiters have the opportunity to be trained in the skilled trades and actually take advantage of those opportunities. And then there's the business opportunity division, and that is what I'm here to present on today. The business opportunity program processes applications in regards to Detroit-based business certifications that will support you in order to be able to do business with the city and accessing equalization credits, which we will touch on very shortly. Other benefits that you will receive as a certified business is appreciation events, networking and capacity building opportunities, and visibility on a register that the procurement team uses. And Toni and Boysie may talk about that later as well. So some of the different certifications that we offer in CRIO is a Detroit-based business certification, a Detroit headquartered certification, and I always like to differentiate between the two. So Detroit based and Detroit headquartered are two different things. Headquartered means that you perform, that your executive team is based in the city of Detroit and perform 100% of their work here in the city of Detroit. Detroit based has a different definition in terms of providing services here. Your headquarters may not be here, but you do business and provide services here. There's a small business certification, a certification in regards to if you have residents that work for your business, and 51%, if you have more than 4 employees and 51% of them are Detroit residents, you can get a certificate. Micro business, a Detroit startup. We also give MBE certifications for minority owned. We give a women owned certification. And there's also an opportunity to get certified as a mentor venture or joint venture. And so you may be working with another business that could do some things that you can't do, or may have more capacity than you have. And the two of you can work together to be able to go after those contracts. One of the primary requirements for that is that one of those businesses must be a Detroit-based business. And so we can absolutely answer more questions about what each of the certification options are and what the requirements are for you to be able to get one of those. I believe the OCP team will talk a little bit more about this in detail during their presentation, but basically the overall idea and benefit of receiving your certification is that you will receive equalization credits that will apply towards receiving a contract. And so essentially, depending on how many certifications you have, there's a percentage that will go towards your bid and increase the likelihood of you being able to be competitive in your bids. And I'm gonna let the Office of Contracting and Procurement talk about that in more detail a little later. But this is just showing you the value that weighs in terms of being able to get a certification. I do like to point out also that for the water department, for DWSD, this is different for them. So that process is different. Your certification will still stand. However, the way in which they process equalization credits is different for them. So in order to get a business certification with us, there's a few documents that you will need to have access to and share with us. Our application is now 100% online, and so we are able to fully execute your certification application virtually during this time of social distancing. And so you will go to the City of Detroit website and go to the Civil Rights Inclusion Opportunity page, go to our business page, and that's where you'll find the application. The link is also available at the end of this presentation as well. And so you would need to complete an affidavit. The accounts receivable clearance is actually, you don't have to do that for our application anymore. That's something that you'll handle once you get over to the bidding process. And we'll need a lease or a deed to show that you that you have your business in the City of Detroit. A business roster that kind of outlines the individuals that they work there, they work for your business, they are working in Detroit, and then a declaration if you are a minority or women-owned business. After you've returned those documents into us, then it would be time for you to process payment. Another set of good news is that we now have online payments available for the applications. So a lot of times the payment process would take a while, especially now when we have to kind of mail checks in and you can't really go into to an office. You could pay all of those things online. So you will get that information from our team once you get to that point in your application process. There is a scale in terms of how much your certification will be based on the gross receipts of the previous year of your business. If you are only applying for an MBE, we can waive your application fee for MBE only if you are already certified through MMSDC. So that's just another opportunity for those businesses that may be small and may not be able to qualify just yet for a Detroit-based business. Maybe you're new, you haven't been around for a year yet, you can still get an MBE certificate with us. And so lastly, we talk a lot about in the Office of Civil Rights Inclusion Opportunity about inclusion and equity. Inclusion and equity do have two different meanings. As the Office of Inclusion, we want to make sure that everyone to be to participate, to be at the table, to get the opportunities, but equity is removing those barriers, right? And making sure that the individuals who are at the table, who are in the room, are actually able to participate and benefit from what's happening in that space. And so the way that we do that is we partner closely with Mr. Boysie Jackson and Tanya to work on things like events that are happening today and supply schedule events and capacity building, giving information on about access to capital and relationship building, you name it. And so kind of moving forward in that, during this current pandemic and the challenges that have been happening, there was an announcement yesterday in regards to Detroit Means Business. It's a website that is available to everyone, DetroitMeansBusiness.org, and you can go there to download a playbook that gives you information on how to reopen effectively, how to be able to get access to the resources that are needed, whether it be financial resources, technical assistance. This website is going to consistently be updated as information becomes available and is fleshed out. There's already a lot of webinars that are on the website. I was going to show you guys the site, but I think my computer might freeze if I do that. So just make sure you go to the website and click through all the links. There's a whole lot of information there for you. And it may answer a whole lot of questions that you may have as it pertains to restarting and what that looks like, bringing your employees back to work and getting through those challenges. So thank you so much, Council President, for having me, and Councilwoman Janee Ayers, thank you all for having me. This email address that is here is the email for Amanda Saab. She is our Business Opportunity Manager, and she manages all of the certifications. My email I can share as well is Arielle, ARIELLE .johnson@detroitmi.gov. And so you can reach out to either one of us with any additional questions that you might have in regards to getting a business certification so that you can go forth and work with the amazing OCP team that you'll hear from shortly. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Arielle. We really appreciate you always being ready and available to come and present to our groups of folks. So I do appreciate that. And just so everyone knows, just for your own edification, what we're going to do is continue on our agenda, and then we'll take questions once we get through this. So this takes us to our essential services supply schedule overview, security, janitorial, ground maintenance with none other than Mr. Boysie Jackson, the Chief Procurement Officer, as well as Miss Toni Limmitt that's there as well, both from the Office of Contracting and Procurement. So the floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon to all of you. And it's always good to be a part of meetings such as this, because we see it as one of the more vital pieces of our job, and working with CRIO, obviously, and trying to make sure there are points and equalizations and certifications for all of you that have taken advantage of this. So Toni and I are going to go through a few things as you can work with us in terms of initiatives that we're doing to help small businesses, to help our Detroit companies as we continue to move forward. In 2019 alone, we had 39 companies that have received contracts that are minority owned as well as Detroit companies. We are planning on doing more, and we have a lot of initiatives, some of which we're going to talk to you about today. We procure a lot of things throughout the city, as you can see on this chart here, heavily in the public health and safety areas. We do a lot of stuff in the park and general service division, healthcare, maintenance, Department of Transportation. We do off-road, on-road stuff. And we've had many good pockets of suppliers doing a lot of good things. But I want to share with you a good success story as we has related to this COVID-19. And during this COVID-19, we were looking and scrounging to get personal protection equipment from every place. Our biggest focus that we started out with the team was try to stick within Detroit as much as we possibly could. Let me just give you some good solid examples of some of the things that happened. We had companies like Pine Gree in Detroit that shifted from making shoes and leather goods to making face shields. We had Detroit Distillery from whatever they do over there, whether it's beer or liquor or alcohol, whatever it is, I'm not totally sure. But they call us, say, hey, look, we can help you guys by making hand sanitizers. We had RPG, that was another textile company down the road. They say, hey, look, Boysie, we can make sanitary wipes. So it went on and on and on in that. So to all of you, this is the collective effort of all of the companies like yourself and being open-minded to do other things. And now we have a few companies that we just got contacted by that are willing to continue to make masks. And the gentleman just talked on the phone from Detroit that's good to hear that you want to participate in our city's goods and services. So I'm really elated to hear that and look forward to many other cases like this. I just want to emphasize three things, and I'm going to turn it over to Latonium. I want to encourage all of you the value of joint ventures. If you feel that you're small and you need a partner to help on something, we encourage that. Arielle showed you earlier the type of certifications that you can get, but partner with other companies in Detroit is great. And you can be a joint venture. Only one of you at this point in time need to be a Detroit-based business in terms of certified Detroit-based business. So in other words, if you don't feel you can afford the cost to become one, joint venture with someone and work it out yourselves. I want to encourage that. I want to encourage you also to hire Detroiters. President and Councilwoman Ayers and the OCP and CRIO activity are partnering up to do more of that and constantly trying to understand how many Detroiters companies are employing. So I see that will continually grow going forward. And it's a necessity for us to continue work here in the city of Detroit. And the third thing I want to say is, if you have issues on bonding and insurance, we're going to have a rollout coming up. So don't let that scare you on things that require those kinds of items. And I'll touch base on that on the end. So without continually elaborating on those kinds of things, I want to now turn it over to Latoni to talk to you about an initiative that, working with City Council on, we have put in place to help you get things done and keep your people in place and do better about equipment. So Latoni.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you, Council President and Council Member Ayers, for allowing me to participate in this outreach today. So as Mr. Jackson said, I'll talk to you about what I do in the Office of Contract and Procurement, but I did bring a couple friends along with me that I will introduce a little later. I brought some people from the General Services Department to speak with you about the required scopes of work that the departments have. And I also brought some of our contractors that provide those services, so that if you have any questions as to how they got started or how you can start your business, they are available to assist you. So in the Office of Contract and Procurement, as Mr. Jackson said, we procure everything from vehicles to pens and papers, vacant lots and everything. We follow our governing rules and our regulations in the Office of Contract and Procurement. So if there is a federal guideline for procurement, we make sure that we follow the necessary requirements in order to meet that. If it's a state guideline, we make sure that we follow those as well. In the event that the department receives a grant, we follow whatever the specifications are for that grant, so that we can receive the funding and maintain our procurement status. We follow the city ordinance. We also follow the FOIA Act, which is the Freedom of Information Act. So if you ever have any questions or want to know information about the bid, you can go to the city's website and fill out the FOIA information in order to get that. And we also follow the federal acquisition regulations. So we make sure that we follow those guidelines in order to keep the city protected. In the Office of Contract and Procurement, this chart right here shows you that we have 724 contracts that are from 0 to 1 year, which means we are constantly bidding the same service over and over again. And so because we've constantly bidded those things over and over again, our office decided to implement some strategies and initiatives to help reduce that. Some of the strategies that we have implemented are the procurement planning. And procurement planning is when the Office of Contract and Procurement works with the department to try and determine what their need is before they actually have the need. And we're making sure that we're planning so that everything is not an emergency and we're trying to rush to procure some things. We also implemented the supplier payment via the portal. That allows all of the suppliers to go in and upload their documentation. They can see when they have a purchase order in the system. You can see when your payment is going to be processed. The city of Detroit does pay in 30 days. So it allows you to actually communicate with us directly in the system. We've also implemented digital outreaches now because we want to make sure that the community is aware of the bids and different things that we are providing. Through this COVID-19 pandemic, the Office of Contract and Procurement has remained open. We have constantly been working. We have been putting bids out onto our Oracle portal. And so if you are interested in seeing a bid or anything that's related to the city of Detroit, you can go to the portal and see it. And these digital outreaches is to make sure that we are informing the community at large as to how you can participate in those bid opportunities. We've implemented the supply schedule program, and the supply schedule program is to provide contracts for longer period of times. It allows us to plan ahead of time and put contracts in place before the department actually has a need. And one new initiative that we have been diligently working on is multi-contracting, splitting up our larger contracts so that we can have multiple suppliers provide that. This allows some of those smaller businesses the opportunity to get the contract with the city of Detroit to perform those services, such as cutting vacant lots, tree cutting and different things, which we will also talk about a little later. So what are supply schedules? Supply schedules are long-term contracts that are awarded to multiple contractors for an indefinite quantity of goods and services over a fixed period of time. One of the good things about the supply schedule is that 30% of the Detroit supply schedule reserve is set aside for certified businesses. And I'll say that again, 30% of all of the contracts on the supply schedule is set aside for certified Detroit businesses. So that means that there's opportunities that we have set aside for you. And we work with Council President Brenda Jones' office and Council Member Ayers to offer this initiative to our Detroit residents. So we want to thank you for partnering with us. So under the supply contracts, the benefits is that the contracts are in place before the department has a need. It eliminates the singular buying and it reduces, resulting in cost savings for us. The city of Detroit still wants to make sure that we are a good fiduciary over our residents' funds, so we are always open to cost savings. It allows the competition to be limited to those companies that are only on the supply schedule. So if you have not been approved to be on the supply schedule, you don't get the opportunity to bid on these contracts. So we do have several of those out there. And the good thing about the supply schedule contracting is that you can bid on them at any time. The bid does not close. And I will tell you about that shortly. The supply schedule contracts also speeds up our service and it speeds up the delivery so that we can have faster service provided throughout the city of Detroit. Supply schedule contracts are for a 5-year term. So we are implementing longer contract periods of time. So this will eliminate that 0 to 1 year contract where we had 724. So our goal is to make sure that we're implementing long-term contracts. These contracts do require approval by City Council. And if there is an opportunity to extend it, we would also take that to City Council for approval and approval with the Chief Procurement Officer, Mr. Boysie Jackson. Last year in Q1 of 2019, we had the opportunity to approve our first supply schedule with City Council. We have 10 supply schedules that we have been looking to implement, and I'll cover all of those with you. The first one that we approved last year was the ground services one. It covers landscaping, mowing, tree planting, landscaping consultants. We also have janitorial services as a supply schedule. We saw many opportunities, increased opportunities for janitorial services as a result of COVID-19. We're gonna need more people to clean offices on a more regular basis. So that right there creates a need for more contractors in that janitorial custodial space. Guard services was also something that we also saw an increased need in after COVID-19. We have a supply schedule that we are presenting to the Detroit City Council for approval in the coming weeks for that. But again, it does not close. So if you know a security guard company that is in the city of Detroit and they are certified and they're interested, they can still have an opportunity to submit their qualifications for it. We have a facilities management services that supply schedule, and we have a medical service equipment and supply schedules. We have clothing and uniforms, professional services, fire, security, law enforcement, moving locations, and demolition is the potential supply schedules that we are looking forward to. In the supply schedule, there are various different set-aside amounts for each schedule, and I'll kind of cover all of those with you. Schedule 1, which was ground maintenance, we had a maximum order limitation that we set aside for these projects, and its total is 50 million. Under supply schedule 2, janitorial and custodial services, we set aside 43 million. Schedule 3, guard services, we set aside 20 million. Schedule 4, facilities management, we set aside 65 million. Schedule 5, which was demolition, we scheduled 69 million. Professional services, schedule 6, we have 347 million set aside. Moving and relocation services, we have 4 million. Clothing and uniforms, there's 8 million set aside. Fire, security, law enforcement items, we have 8 million set aside. And medical supplies, we had 25 million set aside. Under the ground services, again, mowing, edging, tree planting, weed and brush control, those are all services that small businesses can actually enter into. And we do have someone here again that will assist you with information on that. But we wanted to give you just a few items to let you see the types of things that will fall up under the ground services schedule. So now, what are the qualifications for you to do business with the city of Detroit? Well, you must have the skills and ability to perform the service. You must have the required equipment. So if you are submitting a bid on vacant lot services, we expect that you have equipment to cut the vacant lots. You must have trained and dependable staff and a project manager that is able to work with the departments. We need to make sure that everyone is willing to come to work so that we can make sure that we get the job done in a timely fashion. You must have the required licensing, insurance, or bonding. As Mr. Jackson stated, we are working on reducing some of the limitations for bonding and insurance, but there are still going to be the requirements that you must have. So if you are licensed as a HVAC service person, we want to make sure that you have the right skills and the licensing to perform that service. You must have a valid driver's license. And you must have the required PPE for your employees. Uh-oh. What is the supply schedule process? So under the supply schedule process, we put out what we call an RFQQ for your qualifications. And you submit your qualifications through the Oracle website. Once we receive those qualifications stating that you have the equipment, you have the licensing that's required, you have the capacity and the employees, then we perform an evaluation of your company. After the evaluation is performed, if you meet all the required qualifications, you are then recommended for approval to the Detroit City Council. Once the City Council approves it and they say that, yep, we are allowing these people to be a part of the Detroit supply schedule, you will receive a supply schedule agreement. That agreement says that you are a part of the schedule. You are allowed to bid with the City of Detroit contracts, and you will be one of the people that's notified whenever we have those bids available. When the department has a need for that service that you apply for, they provide the Office of Contract and Procurement with the scope of work. We submit out a request for quote. You provide the price, and if your price or if there's multiple suppliers that have the right price and they are have the equipment, they're the most responsible bidders, we provide the purchase order and you provide the service. It's really that simple. How do you get to participate in these things? Well, you must make sure that you register into our system. All of our bids used to be on BidSync. We now have all of our bids in one system, which is the Oracle system. And so in order to submit a bid, you can register online. You can visit our website, www.detroitmi.gov/supplier. And you'll see the registration link there, and you can submit your information to register. And when you submit your information to register, and it's based on the services that you provide, when that need arises, you will be notified that the bid has been submitted out there. In the event that you have any issues or any problems trying to register online, we do have our e-procurement staff that is always available to assist you. You can either contact them by emailing procurement in the cloud at detroitmi.gov/supplier, or you can contact Iva Patterson at 313-224-1500 for assistance with registration. This is our link that I just talked about, where you can go right there, and it also has videos available for you, tutorials, so that you can learn how to do your registration. It has information on how to upload your bids into the Oracle system if you should need anything. This next slide here just shows you that some of the various bids that we do have available right now. Right now we have Strategic Neighborhood Funds, Fitzgerald Greenway Park renovations. We have DDOT State Fairgrounds repair. We have construction projects for a streetscape. So when you go to the website, you'll see open bids, and that allows you to take a look at all of the open bids. These are not all of it, it's just a snippet of what we do have out there. But it will give you the negotiation number, it gives you the title, it tells you if it's a request for quote or if it is a request for proposal, and it also tells you the closing date. It lists the buyer that is responsible for it, and so if you have any questions pertaining to that, you can email them in the Oracle system, and they will respond directly back to you to whatever your question is. So that is pretty much it for me, but I'd like to introduce you to a couple of the members from the General Services Department. So I'm going to start with our Arianna Zannetti, who she is responsible for doing our park construction renovation. So as I said, the Strategic Neighborhood Fund Butzel project is one of them that we have out there. We'll have Arianna just kind of speak to like some of the things that she's looking for when you're trying to submit a bid regarding park renovations. Arianna?
Yeah, thank you, Toni, for inviting me on here, and thank you to Council President Jones and Councilmember Ayers for hosting this. As Toni said, I'm a landscape designer with the city, and so you know, GSD is comprised of many different departments. Landscape design unit is just one of them, but includes, you know, parks, floriculture, park development, grounds maintenance, you know, a whole bunch of them. And so my little snippet of what we do is, you know, we mainly work on park renovation projects. And so a lot of times our contracts that are going out are for construction because we have landscape designers in-house. But we do also do some projects where we're putting out RF or looking for vendors to do consulting, you know, for design, planning, engineering, things that we would work together on that would eventually go to construction. So some of the things that we look for specifically for construction is, you know, as we're constructing public parks, we want to make sure that they're safe for everybody to use and constructed correctly. So we really look for vendors who have a lot of previous experience working on public projects. And, you know, we like to have folks who have worked on park projects as well. And then we look for, you know, same thing as Toni said, you know, project managers that work with us and have good communication, just so we can make sure we're managing the project through together and, you know, making sure it's getting done in a good way for the residents of the city.
Okay. Thank you, Arianna. We do have, I'd like to introduce to you Craig Schaefer. He is from Michigan Recreational Construction. He is one of the contractors that performs some of the renovations in our parks. And Craig, if you want to give the audience a little bit of information as to maybe how you got started, or some skills, or what type of employees you're looking for, or anything, take it away. You there, Craig? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. There you go. Craig's having a little bit of audio problems. What I'll do is I'll come back to you, Craig. Oh, he's connecting to audio now. You there?
This is Stacy. Is he trying to talk through his phone? Because I see there's another phone on there, which Stephen, you might have to unmute the phone.
Yeah,
Do you see the second one?
I think you're right.
Unmute your phone.
No, I'm not a host. One of the hosts needs to unmute his phone on the, okay.
I've tried to unmute Craig and I'm unable to do so.
Same here.
There it is. Craig. Somebody just muted it.
No, I think he has to unmute it himself. I've tried to unmute him several times. It's not working.
Okay, Craig, we'll come back to you in just a second. We do have Angel Squalls from the General Service Department.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Jewel, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
This is Jack. Hey, I'm on a conference call, but I didn't want to make you aware of the fact that I did drop you something late on today.
Hello?
So be on the lookout for it.
You asked me to look out for something coming in my email?
I appreciate Councilwoman President Brenda Johnson.
I think he's going in and out on mute. Okay, I think he's unmuted now.
Toni, who did you want to speak?
I was waiting for Craig, but if Craig is having technical problems, I'll go to Angel.
Craig, can you hear us?
Council President, I don't see him any longer. He'll probably be back
I
on
think he's
shortly.
on his phone. Craig, are you on your phone?
He is, Council President. You're right. It came through as his iPhone, but
right.
That's until we figure that out. Let's just go ahead with Angel, and then hopefully we can get Craig back in.
Okay,
Craig,
thank you.
Craig, are you on your phone? Can you hear us? Okay.
So Angel is from the General Services Department as well. She manages tree planting and tree cutting for the department. And she will be needing more tree people. So I'll turn it over to Angel now.
Hi everybody, my name is Angel with the City of Detroit Forestry Department. As Toni mentioned, I do manage our tree planting initiative through 10,000 Up. It's one of the mayor's initiatives. I also manage our tree removal contract as well. So in regards to our tree removal services, things that I look for in employers is experience with doing a variety of tree removals. At the City of Detroit, we do require that you are able to remove trees within a 19 through 60 inch diameter. Also, we will be looking for you to have experience with removing trees within proximity of power lines or overhead utilities as well. I'm looking for people who have experience just with communicating with different people, because I will be giving out assignments in regards to the tree removal work. And I'm expecting to have a efficient turnaround time for our residents with our tree removal process, as well as communicating when work is finished and if there's any issues out in the field. It is required to have specific equipment in order to be approved. As part of one of the things you need to be qualified to do our tree removals. And you would also be responsible for the stump grinding as well. So it's not just tree removal. You would have to have equipment for grinding out the stumps and disposing of stump grindings. In regards to our tree planting initiative, I'm looking for people who have equipment for tree planting and also experience doing tree planting in different areas. So if you had different projects you worked on, maybe it was an Earth Day, Arbor Day project, maybe you did some landscaping with the City of Detroit where you installed trees, I would be interested in seeing that as well. The only other things that I look for is experience and equipment.
Okay, thank you, Angel. I'd like to introduce Mr. Terry Payne of Payne Landscaping. He is one of the contractors that is on the supply schedule. He is also providing tree planting services, tree cutting services, vacant lot removal. Mr. Payne, can you tell us or tell the audience if they were interested in trying to start a landscaping company? Like, what's the most important thing that they should do, and how did you get started with the city?
Well, thank you for having me, Toni, President Councilman Jones, and Councilman Ayers, and Boysie, Mr. Jackson. Thank y'all for having us on board. One of the things that I just would like to talk about is that I've been in business over 31 years here in the city of Detroit, starting in 1989. not a lot of residential homes when I first started, and my business basically didn't take off until I became a city supplier. Back then, we used to have a lot of called certifications back then. You have to have your Wayne County certification, your Wayne County certification, and the City of Detroit certification, Detroit-based business certification. I got certified in 1997, and it's been a blessing just to be able to work with the city. And now I have grown my business through the city. Now we have I started with like 2 trucks, but I always invested back into my business. Now I have over 40 trucks and over 100 employees working for the city of Detroit, and it's just been a blessing to have the opportunity to serve the city of Detroit. And 90% of our Detroit resident. So Toni and Mr. Jackson is really saying the supply thing, it really will help your business if you join and get certified to come on board to be a city vendor. So any questions that you would like to ask me that I could answer?
We're going to go to the question and answers after our panelists have finished. And I think we're getting pretty close to that. But
okay. So we are right now, we are cutting vacant lots for the city right now. We cut the majority of the east side lots. So we are supposed to cut 40,000 lots in 1 day. Believe it or not, we are on schedule to make this happen. So we working 12 hours a day, and even today we worked in the rain. So we are making progress. And I think it hats off to my employees, so they are really working hard at this time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne, I don't know if I missed it. Did you talk about opportunities that you had available?
No, I did not, but we have opportunities. We are still looking for employees. We are looking for supervisors. If someone want to be a supervisor, somebody want to be farmers, also mechanics. We are still hiring, and we are looking for subcontractors still. And this is not the only position we have as far as vacant lots for the city, but we have other departments that we could also need help in. So,
Council President, someone has their hand raised. I didn't know if you wanted to take that question or not.
we're going to let all of the panelists finish. I don't know if Toni is finished with all of the panelists, and then we'll answer the question.
Okay.
I didn't see if Mr. Craig. Craig, are you back? Okay, well, we'll start taking questions now, Council President.
Excuse me, Toni, I do see Craig's number.
Am I here now?
Yes.
Yes, Craig.
I am. Well, that's super exciting. I'm so excited to join you guys. You can hear my voice now?
We got you 100%.
Okay. I switched to just my phone because I was obviously having some issues with my computer. So I apologize for that. So I guess when originally, Toni, you were saying you had some things that you wanted me to kind of talk about. And
yes, Craig. So Craig, thank you for joining. And I just wanted to allow you an opportunity to talk about your company, tell any of our audience members that are out there how they can start like you started, maybe talk about joint ventures and different things, and employment opportunities that you may have. So I'll turn it over to you.
thank you. And thank you, Council President Brenda Jones and Council Member Janee Ayers. I appreciate you hosting this, and I appreciate you inviting me to be part of the meeting. So and my voice is still coming across good?
We hear you well.
Okay, awesome. So my company is Michigan Recreational Construction, and I started it with my wife, Susan, in 1998, just shortly after we were married. And so our business mostly consists of basically anything you see in a park or a playground setting, such as playground equipment to picnic shelters, picnic pavilions, all the athletic equipment, all of those kinds of items. And our places where we work are churches, parks, schools, child care facilities, all of those kinds of things. And over the years, you know, I grew up in Pinckney, which is obviously a town west of here, and grew up in a family of 11 children. And ultimately, talking about starting a business, when it came to going to school, coming from a large family, my dad was of the mode that you need to figure out a job and earn some money, and so that way you can go to college. So I actually started a swimming pool business, and through that I met somebody that was in the playground business, which is kind of zooming ahead, and I originally only had college students working for me. So that was back in, you know, basically 1998 timeframe. And, you know, over the years, we've worked in all different places all across Michigan, and with the military, we worked at all the different military bases for child development centers and things of that nature. And all during this time, we also provided a lot of services as a subcontractor to other general contractors in the city of Detroit, as well as we worked at all the Detroit public schools over the years. And so we've been involved in probably the majority of the parks and schools in Detroit, which has been just an awesome, amazing experience. And so as our business was growing and things were kind of changing, and contractors were changing, and we were moving into a little different direction ourselves with kind of overseeing and handling our projects, we went into more of being the general contractor versus being the subcontractor. And so with the city of Detroit, we went through all the processes, and I think really it was probably started more so probably kind of in like 2013, around that time, in terms of getting more into that mode. And ultimately we're able to, you know, get our clearances and go through all of the different things that everybody was talking about earlier to meet the requirements, and have been able to, we've been blessed with the opportunity to bid on projects with the city of Detroit, and have worked on many of the park projects. And so during this time, we were really wanting to figure out how to get our business in Detroit where we can be more involved with our community and our neighborhood, and be closer to the projects that we're working on. And so we started looking for different buildings and different properties, and we started off by people that we knew, and they owned, you know, like a building. One was a concrete company over on Central. It's somebody that I knew from, you know, working on projects, and we looked at different things, and then we found some buildings that were for sale over by Livernois, and kind of like by the Dexter area, and we put some offers on some properties, and we ultimately worked on a project that never ended up closing for about, it was about 7 months, and that was in 2016. And so my wife Susan and I were like, it was feeling frustrating, so we just started researching for properties again. And actually where I'm at right now is my office over on Conant Street, kind of by 7 Mile, directly across from the Conant United Methodist Church. I was actually driving, and my wife Susan called me, and she said, she said, Craig, I found this building. Let's go check it out. And so I came here. We ultimately purchased the building, and we're able to now have our base, our Detroit-based location. It's a 6,000 square foot building on eight lots basically. And then there's a parking lot right adjacent to our building that was originally owned by the Conant United Methodist Church, which is our new neighbors across the street. And ultimately, they weren't using it, and we were just kind of maintaining it while we were staying here. And so we offered to purchase it from them so it can help to create a spot where we can function better. And so we actually closed that deal as well. That was right towards the end of last year. And so it has really helped us, have a place where we can call our own and be our Detroit-based office. And if you hear noises in the background, our crews are actually just getting back to the shop. And so they're coming in and out of the door. I asked them not to start the high-low up because it's kind of a little bit loud through my office. But yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you, Craig. And what about opportunities? How do they reach to you, Detroiters, if they're interested in those opportunities that you have in order to work on the park projects?
So so part of our mission on all of our projects is to involve as many Detroit-based businesses that we can. And also we specifically, in terms of kind of opportunities, we're in the process of hiring currently, and our mode is to add additional, maybe somewhere around 6 currently, employees to our team. And we're looking for Detroit resident employees. I actually have a meeting set up with Jason Spahn with the DESC tomorrow. I've been working with him since last fall, trying to figure out some things. So we have some things we're going over tomorrow, some resumes and stuff like that. So if there's anybody out there that's listening to this call and they are looking for a job or know somebody that's looking for a job, I would ask that, is it okay for me to give my email address?
Yes.
So if they could reach me at Craig, CRAIG, at buildingfun, BUILDINGFUN.com. That would be great, because like I said, we're just getting back working after being shut down from the COVID stuff and have all of our protocols in place. And so we're trying to get our team moving, and we also have the opportunity to hire some people. So it's been, so it's good from that standpoint. And we're also one of, some of the different teams that we work with, like one of the companies we work with, which is Joyner Landscape Group. Mike Joyner is a Detroit resident. He's also a Detroit firefighter. He wasn't able to be on the call tonight, but he's somebody that I've been working closely with. He's one of our main subcontractors. We involve him on every one of our projects, but recently I invited him to attend the second annual construction conference, where we had set up a booth, and I've been trying to work with him to get him to be a Detroit-based company. So, and he's in Detroit, obviously. All his employees are Detroit residents. And so we're working on those kind of things. And so if there's folks that have things that are, construction, I guess, oriented skills and so forth, we are open for, including those teams into our operation for sure. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Craig. And I'd like to thank all of our guests, and thank you, Council President Brenda Jones and Councilmember Ayers, for allowing us to join you tonight and to speak. And if anyone has any questions or anything for me from the Office of Contract and Procurement, I can be reached at 313-378-8362, or you can email me at Limmitt, that's LIMMITTL at detroitmi.gov. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I want to just say thank you to the panelists. I know we have someone holding to ask the question, and if you have a question, if you would press *9 on your phone to ask your question. We do have one that have been patiently waiting, and that is the last 3 digits is 290. 290.
Caller 290, you are unmuted.
Yes, how you doing, Council Member Jones and Ayers and all the panelists? I'm asking a question to Mr. Terry Payne with the Payne Landscaping to get his contact information, the phone number and his email. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll give you my office number is 313-885-6770.
Okay.
Email address is Payne, P-A-Y-N-E-S, land, L-A-N-D, at sbcglobal.net.
Global.net. Okay, I have one more question. Now, with this equipment funding that Angel from General Services Department we're speaking about, in reference to what about funding for equipment? If this is one of the things that you need to have in reference to for the procurement or contracts, how can an individual get funding to, if they're startups per se, to get equipment? I mean, either through grants or loans or anything that you know of that is willing to assist with that.
Hi, I specifically do not know of any grants, but I know that they are out there. There's always funding opportunities for small businesses, especially if you have a good business proposal. So I don't know if anybody else on this panel has experience with funding.
Okay, Toni, did you want to say something? I see Boysie's hand up as well.
Thanks, Madam Chair. But relative to the question, if we can get your email address, we will send you, as Angel said, various sources, and I'll cover a few in a moment here, that you can actually go to get up to a certain amount of funding. So the Detroit Development Fund is put in place, sanctioned by council and administration, that would actually enable you to go to them as a small business to do things. We will also send you the SBA website as well that you can get into. That's the Small Business Administration website, as well as Chase has another program as well to do that. So we do have connected in our Small Business Empowerment Fund. Matter of fact, they did show up at one of the other small business events we just had, the last 2 or 3 that we had. But so there are resources that you can tap into. They'll ask you to fill out the applications, and then you take it from there. But if we can be of help to you, please reach out to us, and we can help you navigate that process as well, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Our next caller is caller number 400. That is the last 3 digits of your telephone number. Caller 400, you are unmuted.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Nixon from M.A. Bailey Distribution, and thank you so much for to Council President Jones and to Council Member Ayers and to everyone else who's on the panel. And I just want to take a second just to say thank you to Toni. I think Toni probably recognizes my name because I've been calling her, and she has been so kind and so patient and so professional and so helpful and helped me to get everything together. To Toni, Iva, Amanda, and Bianca, those ladies have been invaluable to me in getting and I have my certifications, my clearances, set up in the Oracle, and all of that has been done, and thankful because of those ladies and being so kind. Even with everything that's going on, they have been able to help me and get all of that accomplished. Now, having said that, I have two things. I need Mr. Payne's, his phone number again, because I think I missed a digit.
313-885-6770.
Yeah, missed that 5. Okay, thank you so much. And one other question. I was looking at, for Toni or Mr. Boysie, I was looking at the list of supplies that's needed by the EMS, and they are asking for every one of the items that they need. There is a specific manufacturer that's listed. Now, the items that they need, do they have to come specifically from those manufacturers?
This is Toni. No, you can always offer equivalent.
Okay. Okay. That's what I needed to know. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Do we have any additional callers that are waiting?
Yes, we do, Madam President. Our next caller is caller number 400, caller 400. You are unmuted.
That was me.
That was
I
you.
was the last one that spoke. Yes.
All right, great. Thank you. I see your hand is still up. That's okay.
Thank you.
Caller number 687. Last 3 digits of your phone number is 687. You are unmuted.
Yes, good afternoon. My question is for Payne Landscaping. Could you please repeat what services you are going to do with the tree trimming and tree removal for residential?
Right now, we're not doing no tree removal residential planning right now this season, right? We are doing,
Will you be doing?
Well, probably in the fall.
In the fall?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And also with Craig from Michigan Recreational Construction, on your email address, I got Craig at Building Fund, and what's the rest? And is that FUN you said?
Greg, are you still here? Craig, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm at
Yes.
It is Craig at buildingfun.com, and it is FUN. Everything we do is about fun and family.
Okay, thank you so very much. You didn't give a phone number, just your email, correct?
I will give you my phone number as well. It is 313-806-8406.
Thank you so much.
You're very
I will
welcome.
be contacting you. Thank you, I'm done.
You're very welcome. Our next caller is caller number 733. Caller 733, you are unmuted.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, Councilperson Ayers, and to Boysie Jackson. My name is Jock Mullins, and I'm with Ace Petroleum. And earlier this year, this is a comment, and I'd like to offer words of thanks and also words of encouragement during these difficult times. Earlier this year, you kind folks gave Ace Petroleum an opportunity to bid on and to be a part of history. Whereas you awarded us a contract and you made it possible for us to be able to provide fuel to a major city, our city of Detroit. And we are very grateful for each individual efforts that each of you paid in an effort to help us. And Boysie Jackson, I know that we worried you to death because we kept coming back to you and asking for guidance and help. and we certainly are appreciative for what each and every one of what you each did collectively and what your organization did collectively for us to be able to help us. And so for those out there who are wondering if the system works and if there's a possibility, that the answer is a resounding yes. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary, and to be able to serve a major city and provide fuel for the buses, for the police cars, fire departments, that's history in the making. Thank you so much.
Did you say the name of your business again?
Ace Petroleum. It's my company. My company is owned by Moses J. Shepard, and we're here located on McNichol and Southfield Road.
Thank you so very much. I'm good to hear your voice this very great day. Tell Mr. Shepard, Council President said hi.
I'll certainly do that, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, Mr. Shepard. Our next caller is caller 066. Caller 066, you are unmuted.
Hi, yes, I had I wanted to know if you could all repeat the email and phone number for the, to submit the bid contract.
Yep. So the email, you can send it to me, Limmitt, LIMMITTL at DetroitMI.gov if you have any questions. The link to get onto the site for the bids is www.detroitmi.gov/supplier. And that will take you to the site for registration. You can see open bids and all of the procurement information is right there for you.
Okay, so you said the first one was LITTL, Detroit.
No, ma'am.
Dot.
No, it's LIMMITTL at DetroitMI.gov.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Madam President and Councilmember Ayers, our next caller is caller 668. Caller 668, that's the last 3 digits of your telephone number. You are unmuted.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly Sanders, and I've been a business owner since 1993. I have a child care center, and I was interested in knowing how will we be reached concerning the PPE equipment, with the small business distribution at Eastern Market. Do we contact Lisa, or will we receive an email regarding this?
Yeah, through the chair.
Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, through the chair.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, can you hear me okay? Yes, if we can get your email address, we will get with Elise to send you the information out. And the directions are pretty straightforward. You shouldn't have any problem at all. So can you just repeat real quickly your email address so we can make sure we got it captured?
Okay, that email address is Kimberly Sanders, KIMBERLYSANDERS at sbcglobal.net.
All righty, so we'll take care of it from there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, those 2 numbers that are showing with hands up have already been called on, but I have been informed by our team Jones that there are a few questions on Facebook. Ms. Wesley, are you able to give us those questions?
Stephen, her Zoom froze, and the question is, we have a constituent that would just like a better understanding of professional services.
Yeah. Through the chair.
Yes.
Okay, so professional services are those kinds of services that requires a degree or a specific technology based kind of contract. most of our legal services, IT services, it could be A&E services where there's a specific degree skill set required. So we enter into professional service contracts mostly in those areas.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, I do have, looks like 3 questions from Facebook. This first question is from Ms. Peggy Watkins. She says she has a pop-up boutique and she's applied for help to get her business started again, and she keeps getting denied. She files taxes, her business is registered. According to what is being said about help for small businesses and what is actually being available, that's not true so far. I need help. Peggy Watkins.
Thank you, Mr. Grady. I think we're going to have to refer her to DEGC or Small Business Administration to actually follow up to find out what's going on with her loan application and the process that she's applying for. So I think if we can get her email address, we will refer her to DEGC or a phone number. She give us a phone number or email address or call the office, either my office or Member Ayers' office, and we will refer her to DEGC. My office number is 313-224-1245, and Member Ayers.
313-224-4248.
Thank you. And we'll refer her to the proper location regarding loans. Thank you.
Madam President, this is Brittany Hussey with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Okay.
We are also offering small business assistance, and you can find more information on our programs at michiganbusiness.org/COVID-19. One program in particular that I think might be of use to Peggy is our My Local Biz program, MI Local Biz, and that application deadline is this Friday.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brittany. I didn't even see you there. Thank you so much.
If I could add, there's been several questions regarding PPE, both suppliers and procurement. We also have a program called the Pure Michigan Business Connect, which you can find information on that program at the same website, michiganbusiness.org/COVID-19. And that Pure Michigan Business Connect is a business-to-business platform where we can register suppliers who are ready to sell to other businesses, Michigan businesses, PPE resources, or if you're a business that needs access to PPE supplies, we'll connect you to suppliers here in Michigan that have those supplies ready to ship. So happy to connect folks there as well.
Brittany, could you repeat the website one more time, just to make sure that everyone got it? For the MI Local Biz?
Sure, it's michiganbusiness.org/COVID-19. And there are lots of resources on that website, both financial resources as well as technical assistance for businesses of all sizes. And there's also a map of individuals that provide services across the state. I would be the contact for the city of Detroit, and folks are welcome to give me a call, and I'm happy to walk them through, point them in direction to resources that are most appropriate for their needs.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Wendy from the Michigan Small Business Development Center. We also provide technical assistance, and so I can give the caller my email address, and she's more than happy to connect with me. We help people who want to, start and grow their small business. We're particularly right now with the COVID crisis focusing a lot on different loan programs and other financial assistance programs. So I'll be more than happy to give my email address, and feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try and get you connected to the right consultant or the right organization. My email address is W as in Wendy, Thomas, THOMAS, the numeral 1, at emish, and I'll spell that out, EMICH.edu.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yes, thank you.
Madam President, we do have another caller, but before I go to that caller, we do have a comment from Tiffany Harris on Facebook that relates to the unemployment process. However, we're not dealing with that today, but I would urge Ms. Harris, Tiffany Harris, you can call the office of the council president at 313-224-1245. Leave your name and number, and someone will call you back and try to assist you. Once again, that's 313-224-1245. Our next caller is caller number 033. Caller number 033, you are unmuted.
Okay, I believe that was Arianna that was just speaking in regards to the MichiganBusiness.org. I don't know if the phone number was mentioned, but if you could please mention your phone number where you can be reached, that would be great.
I think that was you, Brittany, with the Michigan Business.
Of course, folks can give me a call directly on my cell phone. 517-420-7291. And again, if you go to that michiganbusiness.org/COVID website, there is links to the Small Business Development Center. And thank you, Wendy, for introducing yourself, because they're a great partner of ours and a great resource for businesses across the state. But there's also a contact your community assistance team member map that shows the appropriate contact for each area of the state of Michigan, with my information being for the city of Detroit. And so if you miss it here, it's a great place to reference lots of information.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Brady, we're gonna, I think we have one more caller. If we're gonna end with that one caller, and then we're gonna go into part 2. So if you have one more caller, can you just let that caller speak, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to check this caller out. This number looks familiar. Caller 733, did you have a question? Caller 733. Okay, I think we've called on that caller before, Madam President, so I'm going to go ahead and mute that caller and turn the floor back over to you.
Thank you. Member Ayers, did you want to do closing comments?
Oh, just close it out the same way we came in, and thank everyone for being here, being available. Whenever we call and ask, you all show up. And thank you for everyone that called in and wanted to participate, either via Facebook or from just being on the actual call. This is important, and it's just amazing to see how many of you are engaging with us, even in the midst of everything that's going on. And so just know that Council President and I appreciate each one of you, and we look forward to working with you to help move your businesses along. So again, my office number is 313-224-4248. Excuse me, 48. And the email address is Council Member Ayers, and that's AYERS @DetroitMI.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member Ayers. And so let me just say in closing of part 1 is that I hope the small business owners and others have learned more about contracting opportunities for essential services. I urge all of you to follow all of the advice given by the purchasing CRIO and the contractors themselves. And this will conclude part 1 of our meeting. And next we're going to go straight into part 2 that consists of even more question and answers with technical assistance providers to assist with business development in the areas of business consulting, accounting, financial services, marketing, and branding. We truly appreciate everyone who have joined with us today, all of the departments, again, all of the contractors. Thank you so much for everything you've done. And we also appreciate all of those that are interested in doing business in the city of Detroit. all of our providers, small business, economic development, everyone who has participated today. I just want to say thank you so very much. We're going to move directly into part 2 of this session, and this is for the small business startup support. Okay, so this is replacing our vendor tables. We used to have vendor tables. We don't have vendor tables on this Zoom meeting, so this is replacing our vendor tables. This is for question and answers only. And so we are going to just go right into that area. We have a panel introduction.
Madam President, I can go on and do that if you like. Can you hear me? Okay, I can go on and introduce our panelists.
We have a bad connection.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so our panelists that we have for this evening are Bridget Espinoza from the Southwest Detroit Business Association.
You are going away. You're fading in and out.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Better? Okay. So we have Bridget Espinoza from the Southwest Detroit Business Association.
You are gone again. I don't know what you're doing, but you start off and we can hear you and then you fade away.
I'm trying to make it so I can speak into the mic and see the screen at the same time. I'm sorry. Give me. It is Bridget Espinoza from the Southwest Detroit Business Association, and she is going to be doing business consulting. Then we have Sydney Camp, who's from Design Core Detroit, and she will be doing business consulting. We also have Andrew. Andrew, are you on the line? Can you pronounce your last name for me, from Prosperous Detroit? That's
Andrew Kaplowitz.
Thank you, Andrew. And that's Prosperous Detroit, and that is entrepreneurship training. We have Brittany. Can you pronounce your last name for me?
Of course, it's Hoskew.
Thank you, Brittany. And Brittany is from MEDC, and she's answered some questions for us already. And she is business consulting. We have Marcus Jackson from CIBC Bank USA, and he's providing financial services. Wendy Thomas, who already has answered some questions. She's from the Michigan Small Business Development Association. And she is business consulting services also. And our last is Justin Erickson from Free Accounting Fridays.
Okay, thank you. So we again, it's your opportunity to ask questions. If you press *9, you can continue on with the questions that you have. Do we have any callers with any questions?
Madam President, at this moment, I would imagine our callers are getting to their phones so that they press start. Yes, we have a first question.
We can't understand what you're saying.
I'll call off the last 3 digits of your telephone number. That is 290. 290, you are muted.
That is 290. I know his voice was echoing and we could not hear everything. The last 3 digits of the number is 290.
Yes, hi. I was wanting to find out more in reference to either one of the panelists having any services to assist with valuation of your company. Hello?
We're here. If there's anyone that can respond, just jump in and respond to our question, please.
It'd probably be in the accounting portion, personnel.
Okay, your question was, is there anyone that can assist with evaluations? Was that your question?
Yes, for a company, yes.
Hi, this is Wendy with the Michigan SBDC. That's a service that is typically done by sort of outside professionals. However, we can probably help get you started on the right track in terms of looking at the assets of your business and kind of help you to think through, you know, what the value of the business is and what you could potentially sell it for. And a lot of it will have to do with what your assets are in the value of the company. And it also has to do with the current market that you're in, or maybe the industry that you're in as well. But again, that's something that we could certainly help you start to think through that process and get you to the right. If there's an outside contractor that does that, we can also help you with that piece as well.
So there's no one within the city organization that could assist with that type of thing. We would have to outsource it, is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that because it's a very specific ask in terms of valuation. We have consultants, business consultants, that will help you kind of take a look at your business. So if you're looking to value your business, a lot of that will start with the assets of the business, sort of the net worth of the business. And so we can sort of help you think through that. But we do have, again, we can kind of help you lay the foundation. And then if you want to proceed, we can help get you connected to some of the service providers. They do charge for a fee. I mean, we don't charge for our services. So we're more than happy to help you think through that process and kind of give you a handle on, you know, how your business might be viewed based upon the industry. We can also pull industry research information as well. So be more than happy to help you, take you to that point. And then as you move forward with the idea, then again, you want to have somebody who, you know, that's sort of their expertise with the actual sale.
Okay, and your name and email address?
Yes, sure. My name is Wendy Thomas, and my email address is WTHOMAS, the number 1, at emich, and that's EMICH.edu. And I'll give you my cell phone number as well, 313-530-2530.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, caller 290. Our next caller on the line is caller 525. That's the last 3 digits of your telephone number. Caller 525. You are unmuted.
Hi, this is Commander Semerad, and I was asked to join this small business session, and it really has promoted a lot of online events, and there's a wealth of information out there. One piece of information I was sharing over the last couple of weeks is with the Small Business Administration at the federal level. And the federal contracts, there's billions of dollars in federal funding available to small businesses. Again, it's not free, and it's not as part of the CARES program, but there's a multitude of contracts. The trick is a company will have to get registered in SAM, and then they can get access to just page after page after page of contracts that are out there that they can bid on. And I've known some people who have been very successful with this. Obviously, the federal contracts are not always in Michigan or Detroit, but there's still a lot of them here. But I also know people who have won those contracts from Michigan, from Metro Detroit area, and they were able to do a lot of the work remotely, bringing on people and contractors from those different parts of the country. But take a look at FedBiz or DIBS and an organization called PTAC. It's associated with the Defense Logistics Agency, DLA, has offices in right there on Van Dyke around 13 Mile Road at TACOM. And the classes are free. And they will give you free training on how to get an ID, how to apply for these contracts, and how do you respond to them. So that's it. Thank you.
Caller number 525, you are muted. And I'm going to turn this over to Linda Wesley and Jalen.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Jim, thank you so much for calling in with that valuable information. I'm sure that there will be many questions for you. Jim, did you want to give out an email maybe that maybe if anyone has questions that they need to? Let me unmute you. Jim?
My email is Jim Semerad, JIMSEMERAD @C as in Charlie, S as in Sam.com. My phone number is 248-466-7525.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jim, for that information.
Okay, if we have any other callers, could you please press *9 if you have any more questions? Linda, it doesn't look like we are getting any questions. Oh, we have a new one right here. Caller 706. These are the last 3 digits of your phone number. You are unmuted.
Hi, I'm sorry. Thank you for this call. It's very informative, and I appreciate everyone for taking time out their day. And I was wondering if Jim can please repeat his email.
Just one second. Jim?
It's JIMSEM as in Michael, ERAD as in David @C as in Charlie, S as in Sam.com. Over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we have any more questions, please press *9. Thank you.
This would be a great time to ask all of your questions. Please don't be afraid to ask any questions. Don't want you to walk away and you go and you're at home and you say, I wish I would have asked that question. They're here to answer any questions that you may have. So feel free to ask your questions. Raise your hand. I see 706 again. I'm going to unmute your line. 706. 706, your line is unmuted. Yes. Did you have another question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the process of starting a nonprofit with seniors. So I was wondering, do you have a department that can guide me in the right direction? Because I wanted to have it based out of Detroit.
Okay, which one of our panelists can take that question?
This is Brittany Hoskew again with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Detroit has a great resource in Michigan Community Resources. It's a statewide nonprofit organization that's based out of Detroit that provides free legal services for nonprofit organizations. And I know when I'm working with other community development organizations across the state, I often send them to Michigan Community Resources as a place to receive free legal help in establishing that nonprofit organization.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Okay, do we have any more callers who would like to ask a question? If so, please press *9. All right, we have caller 290. You are unmuted.
Yes, I did want to find out more information in reference to the bonding and insurance requirements for the contract.
Do we have anyone on the call who could help her out or give her any assistance to this question?
Jalen, I could take that. I think Boysie briefly mentioned programs that are being rolled out. I know that that has been a concern for a lot of contractors as it relates to the cost of bonding and insurance. And once that is available, then we would definitely hold another outreach such as this and get that information out. But there's not any information right now because the plan and the policy is still being developed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
If you could call Council President Jones' office so that we can get your contact information, we can make sure that you have it. Our office telephone number is 313-224-1245.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right, it looks like we have caller 113. You are unmuted.
Hi, thank you for my call. I have a question regarding self-employment taxes. Is there anyone I can speak with to help me understand self-employment taxes and what do I need to do to make sure I'm paying my quarterly taxes timely? Just need to speak with someone regarding that.
Is there anyone on the call that can take this caller?
Hi there, this is Andrew. Yeah. This is Andrew Kaplowitz with Prosper Us Detroit. So we put a lot of business owners in touch with other service providers through our technical assistance program. So for example, the business owner earlier who called about valuations, we could probably support you. You're now asking about filing taxes and accounting support. Once again, through our technical assistance program, we would put you business owners in touch with service providers and oftentimes offer grant money as well. So you can learn more about that at our website. That's prosperusdetroit.org. Yeah, absolutely. That's all I have to say on that.
In addition to that, I know that Detroit at Work has been connecting businesses with everything HR to provide support in that space. And additionally, DetroitMeansBusiness.org, there will be technical assistance as well as webinars that will be announced on that website. So just going to that website, I recommend checking it daily, DetroitMeansBusiness.org. There's already a lot of webinars recorded on that site that can support you, and then they'll be taking submissions for technical assistance as well.
I would also add the Accounting Aid Society might be able to provide some support as well.
Okay, great. Thank you all very much. I certainly appreciate your time.
Okay, now there was a question on Facebook from Peggy Watkins from PW Collection. She said, I have a 20-year-old pop-up boutique and all social events have been canceled since March, right before my scheduled venue for Ann Arbor Deltas. I have applied for help for small business, disaster loan, COVID-19, and several others promised help, and I have been denied, whereas my niece in Ohio is getting approved for everything. Why is my business being denied? I have a ladies' clothing pop-up boutique. Thank you, Council President, for for supporting my business. I need help to get my business started again. I am self-employed with fabulous clothing for women. So is there anyone that can assist her with this?
This is Brittany.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Arielle.
So there's a number of reasons, especially if it's a pop-up space. I recommend you talking to some of the technical support that we have. I'm not sure if you went through the CRF Foundation and for the PPP assistance with that Goldman Sachs provided for Detroit-based businesses. But they have some individuals that are providing technical support specifically with the PPP loan. But if you have a pop-up shop, you have to be able to exhibit that you have employees. And so there may be some very, I don't want to call it simple, but some documentation that you can provide to show that you have employees that you have to support in order to get access to the PPP loan, which of course 75% has to be spent on the payroll. For the other grants, I can't speak specifically to those, but I highly recommend you sit down with some technical assistance because it may be a part of the documentation you're submitting for all of these grants and loans. A Tech Town as well can support with that type of technical assistance.
Yeah, I would just concur with the Arielle in terms of what she just said about the PPP. Again, it could depend, but again, one of the things that we do as business consultants is kind of work through that process to figure out and identify where potential issues are, like many of my other colleagues and partner resources on the line can help you sort of walk through that and understand why the denial occurred and then what the requirements were and if there was some gap in terms of your business and then what the requirements were. That those are things that we can kind of walk you through.
Hey, this is Marcus Jackson from CIBC Bank. I've done almost now 40 PPP loans, and I think part of it also is what are you registered as? If you're a 1099, if you're a 1099 employee, then that's a little different than versus a W-2 employee. So that could also be an issue as to why you've been declined. Also, the 1099 came out later, the approval process came out later than the standard W-2. But I would just work with the banker. I'm more than happy to help you with that. If you give me a call or you can call me on my office phone, 248-566-4705. Again, that's 248-566-4705. And my email is Marcus, M-A-R-C-U-S, .jackson@cibc.com.
Thank you. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have just joined the call, you can press *9 if you do have a question.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, it looks like we have we've had a great small business empowerment fair today. And I'd like to take this time. Yes, it has. I'd like to take this time on behalf of Council President Jones, Council Member Ayers, and the A-team, as well as Team Jones, to thank all of our callers for calling in, and a special thank you to all of our panelists, Bridget, Sydney, Andrew, Brittany, Marcus, Wendy, and Justin. You all have been fantastic. We also want to just thank Toni, as well as Arianna and Marcus, anyone else that I just hope I'm not missing anyone. Prosperous Detroit, thank you. You all have been outstanding, and you've provided a wealth of information for our callers, and we just can't thank you enough. But we are looking so forward to the next one. We are just so excited. This was a fantastic event. And so we just want to say thank you again.
Thank you.
And would any of our panelists like to have any closing remarks? Okay, well then this is going to conclude our Small Business Empowerment Fair. We ask you to tune in. Please remember, if you missed it, if you missed a portion of the event, no worries. It is live on Facebook. You can go to Council President Jones' Facebook page, and you will be able to find the this information, all of the information live on her Facebook page.
As well
That
as
is
Councilmember
Brenda
Ayers' page.
Jones. All right, all right. Well, thank you all so much.
Let
This concludes the
Jalen, you
meeting.
want to tell everybody how to get it on Councilmember Ayers' social as well?
On Councilmember Ayers, so our Facebook page is Councilmember Janee Ayers. We can spread the love, but it will be on both Facebook pages.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
all right. Well, thank you all again. This concludes our meeting. You all have a wonderful evening and good night.